South Africa's football team has been heading down the darkest of tunnels for years now. They've only qualified for one out of the last 3 Africa Cup of Nations, and that's only because they hosted it. The upcoming friendly matches against Australia and New Zealand would normally give a national coach a chance to experiment. But instead, coach Gordon Igesund is in a desperate spot. 11 players out of his original 18-man squad pulled out without kicking a ball. A further 4 have since followed. Although some of the players are genuinely injured, others just don't fancy it. But Igesund remains bullish.
It's always disappointing when you select a team and then there's changes through injuries, but injuries is part of the game. We understand that, And as I said yesterday, I've got a squad of about 35, 36 players, a group, a squad to take us forward, and this is all part of that squad, So it's a great opportunity for us to go forward from here.
A player exodus of this magnitude would leave any team flat. The Australian media have been critical of Bafana's embarrassing situation, labelling the team Bafana Bafana.
Australia don't know what they're actually saying at the moment, I mean, as I said, and I keep repeating myself, I've got a squad of 35, 34 players, really talented players that will take us forward and qualify us for 2015 and 2018. There's absolutely no doubt about that. Because certain players are missing doesn't mean everybody's got a right to the national team, and those are the automatic choices. There are no automatic choices in this team, and these players that I've put up here will put up a very good show, and if I was Australia, I wouldn't be talking so much until they knew what they were saying.
For Igesund, the 2 friendlies would appear to mark the end of the line for his reign as South Africa coach. His contract runs out at the end of July, and even he appears resigned to the fact that it won't be renewed.
It's very simple, it's very, very clear. My contract comes to end in August. And what happens then, I'm sure when I get back from, I don't think this game's got anything to do. I'm sure SAFA by now have really made up their minds. They're not going to say, well, let's see what happens in Australia. They know what they want to do, and if whichever way they decided, they've got to make those decisions.
Well, if this is Gordon Igesund's final few games in charge of Bafana Bafana, then he leaves with a cloud above his head and the reputation of the national team in tatters. It means that whoever is in charge after August will have to rebuild and fast if South Africa are to get themselves back on track ahead of AFCON qualification. Dan Williams, CCTV, Johannesburg.